Hello, scumbags. Happy Saturday. This is the 2018 edition of Saturday Morning Cartoons. My name is James Azile. Joining me, as always, is the runner of this podcast here. He is the Force, making it to the second round of the Jedi tournament, is Brock Smink. How you doing?
I'm good, James. How are you?
Very good. This is our third time recording this. It's Saturday morning, very unusual. You've been very busy at work the last little while. So you should apologize to everybody for having a job.
I apologize for nothing.
Okay, well,
people gotta work.
You know what? I'll just ruin Infinity War for you. So what happens at the very, very end is this is what happens. Rocket Raccoon finds a purple ooze that turns him human.
He finds true love and he turns back into a human before the roses lose their last petals. Yay!
It's very, very much. But I saw the movie last night. It is it's a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun, and it's one of those. I was thinking about it not during the movie, because during the movie I was thinking about the movie, but afterwards. I was with a group of people, Andrew Fantasia, who I can't stand, and Rob McDonald, who I also can't stand, and a bunch of Andrew's friends. A couple people that I somewhat know, and a bunch of people that I never met before. And when the movie ended, we all left the theater, and everybody was like sweating. Like all like the diehard Marvel fans were like, ah! You know, like having the time of their lives. And I immediately was transported to December.
Yeah.
And that didn't happen after The Last Jedi on the internets. And the one thing I'll say about Infinity War is it's as much fun as it is. It's almost like they I don't want to spoil. I'm not going to spoil anything, but like it's very much a Marvel film. It doesn't go past what we all have known. And, and expect to a certain. I mean, look, there are twists and blah 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 blah. But like, it is at the end of it, you're like, yeah, that's, it is exactly what I felt for the last 10 years. Is basically what this is, which I thought was neat. Whereas Star Wars decided to go in a different direction, and I can't decide which direction I prefer. Saying that, people were like, I was online and they're like, Infinity War is going to make more than The Force Awakens. How do you feel about that? And there's like a poll. And my comment was just, what a time to be a movie fan. Like, I don't care how much these movies make. As long as I'm entertained, what does it matter to me?
Exactly. Like, they're just movies, I mean, you can enjoy it, and it's great. I think the phenomenon, which is Star Wars created, where it's like, yeah, it's a fun movie, but then it captures your imagination, and you want to know more and more and more. Marvel's just copying that. I guess... if you really wanted to argue, comics came up with it first, but Star Wars was the first to do it on film. So, like, I don't know. It's all opinion. I mean, you and I once were talking about it. You put, like, two movies together, and they all happen to be, one's a DC movie, one's a Marvel movie. And it's like, which one did you like better personally? And most of my answers were DC movies. So it's just like, it's all personal opinion. Am I going to love Avengers? Of course I am. I've been reading Avengers since I was like 12. The fact that I get to see Black Panther and Vision like on film, it's fantastic.
No, you're not going to love it. You're going to probably explode in your seat.
Why would I do that?
From excitement.
If I explode, I can't see the next one.
That's not. There is no next one. This is it.
Yeah.
This is it. Anyway, so I was at the theater, and the bad internet is popping up for other people watching. But anyway, and I grabbed this magazine, the Cineplex Flying Solo, because in Canada we have two movie theater chains. I think we have Cineplex, who owns I think 99% of the theaters, and some other one that is in like
Landmark, which
is in like two like.
It's like I don't know. It's like one lease per province. It's weird. I think it's American.
Well, Landmark is. I don't think I've ever been to a Landmark cinema. Because there isn't one near me. Because there's whatever. But I went. I got this, and there's no real. Like, there's a solo article in it, I guess. But anyone that picks up these magazines knows they don't.
Yeah.
These are like fluff pieces. But I grabbed it. There's a Solo poster, which one of the versions of this recording I found, but right now I can't. So,
it's in there.
Just trust me on that. You've all seen it. It says Solo, and it was a Sony record. I'm really excited for Solo. News broke this week. That Alden Ehrenreich let slip that he signed on for 3 movies. There was talk at one point that this was going to be that there might be a trilogy of Han Solo films. Brock, did this surprise you at all? What were your thoughts on it?
No, because in my head, even though I knew it wasn't confirmed, it's like in my head I was like, no, if this does well, you can do so much with this property that it'd be silly not to. But the amount of money they put into these movies, there are investments. So it's like and I don't know why I think it's maybe because Marvel does it. They always feel like they have to announce what's going to happen. It's like, we know you're going to make as many Star Wars things as possible, but it gets people excited. Investors need to know, right? So, but yeah, I'm super psyched. I really doubt that he let slip, because it's like, how long did he shoot this movie? It's like, after a point, you don't break these rules, and
yeah, I know.
They're like, okay, in this one, tell them they're doing a thing.
Look, the cast of Rogue One signed 3 picture deals or sequels. Or
yeah.
Whatever. Like, I remember way back when the first X-Men came out, they all signed, I think, 3 movies back then. This is when you're a franchise, this is what you do. You make your stars sign on, because if it hits, you're gonna want them back. And if it doesn't hit, you can there's null and void, pay them $5 million or whatever it is, and say goodbye.
Yep.
And I think I'll bet you any money Donald Glover signed on for more than one. I'll bet you Woody Harrelson, even if his character dies, probably signed on for a second one at some point. Maybe not. But they signed them on because think about this too. If they're like, well, we're going to do another movie, but this one's going to be a prequel to the one you just watched.
Yeah.
Because let's say randomly Woody Harrelson's character is a standout and everybody's obsessed with this character, and there's a story you can tell in the middle of his journey in this one. They're like, hey, Woody, here's 20 mil. You want to go make a movie? And he's like, no. It wouldn't be 20 mil, but he'd probably make a couple. But you know what I mean? Like it's smart. And so Ehrenreich signing on for 3 wasn't a surprise to me.
Yeah.
It was the way it got blown up was whatever. I think this movie's funny how, like, if you remember a few short months ago, I think it was 3-4 months ago, Solo's a disaster. The marketing campaign doesn't exist. They don't know what they're doing. It's the worst movie ever. Now, 3 or 4 months later, the excitement is almost through the roof for this. The marketing has been fantastic. They knew what they were doing the whole time. It's going to premiere at Cannes, which is whatever, which is whatever. Like X-Men 2 was there, so or I think it was a third X-Men or second, one of those. Like the big movies go there all the time. But they're showing the world premiere is going to be on May 10th. Apparently, is the rumor. There's a screening for critics before the press junket, which has never happened in the Disney era of films. I think they believe in this movie, but I think they know that there is a backlash towards Star Wars right now, and I think that's why if critics are going to see this early, to kind of put that to rest.
Right. Well, it's I'm excited. I would love to see more Han Solo. I have high hopes for this movie, so I don't know. I feel like I've praised this movie a lot, so it's sort of, how I feel about it. So and each trailer that comes out, I'm like super excited.
I was with my Aaron and I went to my sister's last weekend, and her boyfriend said, I just watched Rogue One for the first time. Like, he just watched it like that week. He's not a huge Star Wars fan, so he's like, I just watched it. He goes, I loved it. That was so good. He goes, I was watching the movie, and he goes, I had no idea what was going on through half of it, because he thought it was like after Force Awakens. He's like, I don't know what's going on. He goes, and then it ended, and I was like, wow, it was so good.
Yeah.
And I said, the new one's going to be even better. You're going to like it even more. I feel like I might be overselling Solo now. We might have to drop it a peg, but I still think third best Star Wars film is a good but I'm selling it to everybody, so if it's not good, I'm going to be eating my words big time, because I think I've made people go see it that don't want to, that I know personally, not other people. But like, I just have look, when the script was written, there was word around Hollywood, that's the rumor was that this was one of like the best Star Wars script. period. Like, that's what people were saying. And then, the firing happened and there was a lot of trouble. But if you have the best script and if it's coming in and it's not the best, if it's not translating that way on film or digital, what do? You got to cut off the head and start from scratch, essentially. And that's what they did. And they just went. And I've said this before. I just think Uncle Ron Howard coming in, he's just competent. That's what it is. It's competent. He might not always make the best movies. He might not be the most flashy, but he's competent. He put page to film, So I think I believe in the movie. Slightly.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I can't wait.
The trailers keep capturing my imagination over and over again. Even like I watched the German subtitled one today, and it's like, what is this? How does this movie continue to amaze me?
I want to watch it in German now.
I saw recently on Instagram some stills of what the Topps trading cards were, and there was a really cool picture of Beckett and Val in Imperial getup, assuming on Mimban or something like that. And I was like, yes.
Oh, I can't. Yeah, I haven't had a chance. I've been to I haven't been to many stores. I went to a couple Walmarts and Toys R Us, and they didn't have any figures at all for Solo. But I went to an EB Games GameStop for everyone in the States, and they had the pop figures there. I didn't grab any. They look good though. But you were able to grab something. You found something. Where did you find it?
I think I got it at EB, actually. I got a Range Trooper, and I gotta say, it's probably one of the best Black Series figures I've bought since I got the Boba Fett in like Series 1 or 2 or whatever it is.
That one looks sweet.
It's awesome, and it's actually got fur, like faux fur or whatever.
Real fur. They kill.
Yeah, it's real porg. It's real porg feathers, but it looks great, and like just the details on like the magnet boots or whatever. It's just great, and it just poses nicely. Super psyched. It's amazing how a little toy can excite me in my 34 years of age. But yeah, it's fantastic. I can't wait to put it with all my other stormtroopers over there. It's like at points I'm like, why do I have all this stuff? Oops. And then a new thing comes out and I'm like, oh yeah. So it was good. I did also see the Han Solo pops. I almost bought the battle droids. But it was a little higher. But the funny thing is, I think this was slightly cheaper than that. But it was, Black Series usually run like $25 to $30. But like this, I don't know. This is just like, oh, I need this in my life. So very excited.
Yeah, that one looks sweet. I haven't been crazy about a lot of the Black Series lately. I find the paint jobs to be bland. And as an adult, I don't play with toys. They're investments.
You
already opened it. The investment's done. It's like getting a car. Yeah. You're like, I just spent $40,000 on a car. Then you turn the ignition, and now it's $15,000. You're done. Your car's worthless. It's like the American dollar, Canadian dollar.
Anyways, so new toys is exciting. I kind of want to look into. I just saw the Topps cards recently, and I'm like, oh, maybe we can find them. So if I find them, I'll show them on the show. Because
when I went to Walmart, because you said in Target in the States when you went, they were just in like the card section. So I went to the Walmart card section. Nothing. Just a whole lot of Pokemon and hockey cards.
Yeah, no, I did that too, and it's all the trading card stuff, like like that stuff.
No, they get more Dorbs though. They had a He-Man Dorbs, and I was that close.
Yeah, I saw those too. Yeah,
but I didn't want to. I don't have room for anything anymore. We should do it. We should do a road trip to the United States of America and get some Topps trading cards and just be like, Topps, throw it. It's like, and when we get doubles, just burn them. Moving on to episode 9, everyone's favorite sequel is coming. This is going to wrap up the trilogy. They are casting a 45 to 50-year-old female character whose code name is Mara.
Wow, it's literally Mara, eh?
That's actually the code name on the casting. So I did a video with Jacob Nixon last week about this when the news dropped because it's fun news. This is what I think is it's fun news. And it's kind of like calling the working title for episode 8, Space Bear. It's a fun nod. I don't think she'll be Mara Jade. It is curious though that they would choose the name Mara. Well,
I say Mara.
Let's not get into a Thanos.
Yeah.
It's curious that they would choose that name for a character in the same age range. And I think there's a few other small details that kind of fit in with the Mara Jade character. So to me, it's very, it's playful, but it's curious why they would do that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if she turns out to be Mara Jade, I would have no problem with that. I don't think that means immediately that she becomes the expanded universe character. Yeah, I mean, we got Thrawn in the books and Rebels series isn't exactly the same as the Thrawn. Actually, I feel like we know more about this Thrawn than we did of that Thrawn. That's up for debate, of course. I would love it. Like, they've said it before that they are definitely trying to include more things from the expanded universe, if at least in name. So it'll be cool. But I don't think that's if she is Mara Jade, I don't think she's married to Luke, because, well, not necessarily. But when you read the Last Jedi novelization, we have that dream where he's married. He never left Tatooine, so it's sort of like, not that it was a dream, so that person doesn't exist, but he wakes up in a cold sweat, like, he's that's what it could have been.
It's not a dream. It's the Force showing him an alternate reality.
An alternate,
he could have had if he stayed on Tatooine and not done.
But it doesn't actually happen, so it's like he could have got married, I guess. But I feel like Luke just stays a bachelor. Maybe there's a romance. I could understand that, but yeah, I'm interested in that. Though I worry that every time we add new characters, the story just gets a little bit more elaborate, and maybe we don't need to be more elaborate.
I just think this is I think I tweeted to Josh. I was like, just cast Laura Dern and make her Holdo's sister.
Exactly.
Bring back Laura Dern. I just think that look, the story, we don't know what the character is, how long the character's in the movie for, or anything like that. Maybe there's one prominent role. Maybe it's Leia.
Yeah.
Maybe this is their recast. Could you imagine a casting call for Leia right now? That would be crazy.
Yeah.
But like, we don't know. It could be just a walk on, like, hey, blah 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 blah, like that. Like, it could be very just plain and simple. We've got a line of dialogue, you have to say it, or it could be a major character. I think it is kind of weird bringing in a new major player like this late into the trilogy.
Yeah.
But I mean, if it's needed, it's needed.
Yeah.
Like, if you need someone to progress the story, I mean, because you don't have Leia anymore, so I don't know how they're going to play that off. Maybe you just need someone to come in and do it, and they're like, oh, you know what, a Mara Jade type would be pretty cool. There's a lot of cool things they could do, but I think, the way she plays out in the Thrawn novels, this is way too late in the game. Unless they're doing unless episode 9 isn't the end. It's way too late in the game to do it. It would be kind of cool if they brought her in, and they're like, oh no, she's the exact same as what you know. Hey, we're doing 3 more movies. Chill.
Yeah.
But they're not going to do that.
No, I don't know. It's just, you've already made the fans mad enough. Like you said, making it the code word or the code whatever, that's just to grab people's imagination. Because it's like why does it need to be code word? Why do you need to reveal anything is happening? I know there's probably a reason, but it's just like, you don't need to announce publicly that they're casting this and it's code name blah blah blah. Like, I know maybe it just leaks, but I don't believe that Star Wars lets anything leak. I frankly don't trust anything they say. But yeah, it's, I think you want to poke the space bear a little bit just to get people's attention. But I think if you put Mara Jade in this movie, you run a real gamble of like pissing off more fans. Do I think it's that big of a deal? No, but like people will, like, you know. I mean, they did Thrawn right?
I think they did Thrawn right. I think.
Yeah.
I still think his ending was good. Yeah, they definitely pulled off Thrawn.
Mm.
That was in an animated show over 2 seasons.
Yeah, exactly.
He was only in 2 seasons or 3 seasons. 2 seasons.
Is he at the end of 1 season?
I think it's 4 and 5.
Yeah.
Yeah. So look, they pulled him off, but it was in that. I think Mara Jade definitely could have lived in like the animated world. See, but we're going to talk about it soon. But it doesn't look like that's going to happen. It doesn't look like she will be living in an animated world anytime soon. Yeah. But I can't. She is an intriguing character in a lot of ways, more than just the Luke Skywalker way. So I think there is ways to bring her in. The only thing is, they're like, we have no problem bringing in characters from canon, but it has to make sense. And if it doesn't make sense for her to show up in canon, why bother even doing it? Look, I know there's all those complaints, like, I love Legends, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, but the Legends stuff is not ongoing anymore, but it still exists. Like, it's still there. You still have, like, she's still a character. She's still a thing. There's still action figures based on her. Like, she's still around. It's not like they erased all of our memories of her to begin with. She's just not in the new stories that they're telling. And if she doesn't fit into those stories, why bother shoving her in there?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I was thinking of her recently too. It's like some of the older expanding universe characters that are force wielders. It's like, and this is a minute detail, just something I thought of. You have Mara Jade, who is, I believe, becomes a Jedi, or is definitely force sensitive, I believe, or at least she helps him set up the academy or whatever. But, that's all before prequel stuff where, like, they made a big deal that, like, Anakin was too young to be trained. So it's like, if you're going to train yourself to be a Jedi, you have to start when you're super young. But prior to that, it was like, oh, yeah, we can, people can just realize they have the Force and become Jedi. Like, Kyle Katarn was like that. Mara Jade, I believe. So correct me if I'm wrong. But I wonder, and obviously, we have Rey, who's probably close to her 20s in Force Awakens, that she's figuring it out as she goes. So it's like, I was curious. It's like, what? Like, is that breaking the rules or whatever? It's like, I don't think there's rules in this, and especially with no Jedi around, we have to do that. But I was just thinking about that. It's like, they're the way that they used to do things, but they're changing it up. I was like, oh, interesting. I mean, I guess it just points out how, like, Lucas didn't have it all figured out originally. So, but yeah, that's what I mean. Could you do that? Like, let's say if it is Mara Jade and they're like, oh, she's gonna have Force powers, because, like, you gotta have Force powers, but she's like 50 years old and is just realizing it. Like, I don't know. Like, does that work? I don't know.
In this new era of Star Wars, I don't know what works anymore.
That's just a rambling I thought up today. Yeah. So there you go. What else do we have?
Well, our final topic for the day is this new animated show has been revealed, and it's going to be called Star Wars Rebels 2: The Resistance. It's going to be called Star Wars Resistance. We know a few months ago, Disney, I think, got the web IDs and all that for Star Wars Resistance. And now it has been revealed that Dave Filoni will be working with a new team, or some of the same team and new people, and developing a show called Resistance, and it will be more anime style. And it's going to feature the voice talents of your love interest Poe Dameron, Oscar Isaac, and Gwendolyn Christie is coming back as Captain Phasma, because it looks like, to me, that they really want to sell more Phasma toys, because she is a badass looking character who just does not get any love in the movies.
Yeah. No, I'm excited for this because I'm a huge fan of X-Wing pilots. Though every time I look at the logo for it, it looks. I always think it's a Naboo cruiser that's coming out of the title, just because of the yellow, right?
Yeah.
But I'm excited for this. We get a shot of BB-8, so, like, you can't go wrong with that. And I feel like all these cartoons always had some, like, quirky little droid at the center of it, so he's gonna be perfect for it. I'm very excited. yeah, like I'm interested to see what the animation will look like because it's you think they would try to keep with that CG look of Rebels and Clone Wars, but I was thinking about when I first got announced because DC did a I forget what it's called, like Batman anime or Batman. It's one where like Batman exists in like feudal Japan, and it looks awesome.
Batman
a lot of people.
Ninja.
Ned, thank you. That's it. It looks great. So it's like, oh, there's really a reemergence of desire to put in anime in things. I don't think it's ever really gone away. If you've gone to a Comic-Con, you've seen anime kids. They are legion and they are strong. So, yeah. They, I don't know what to say.
I think it's I like the idea of it. Look, for me, it's the story. Is the story going to be entertaining enough? Is it going to be fun enough? The cast is great. Let's look at the. I'll name the cast for you right now. It's a lot of Star Wars fans. So Bobby Moynihan, I'm going out on a limb, and he's voicing Snap Wexley. Christopher Sean from Hawaii Five-0. I don't know if it's the original or the remake. I'm guessing it's the remake. Susan McGrath from EastEnders. Don't know what that is.
It's from Britain. It's from Britain.
No,
like it's a UK show.
Is it like a comedy or like a horror or like a?
Is it a cop drama? I think it's more of a drama, like sort of like yeah, it's like a drama. I think.
But it has that British biting humor in it.
Like Coronation Street, that's the word I was saying, sort of something like that. Now all our UK fans are like, you have no idea, but it's a pretty big show there.
Well, she's honest. Scott Lawrence from Avatar. I'm guessing the movie Avatar. I don't know who that is. Myrna Velasco from Elena of Avalor. There are a lot of shows I've never heard of.
Yeah.
Josh Brenner from Silicon Valley.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Donald Faison from Scrubs, which is my favorite moment because he's at that screening of Rebels and he says to Dave Filoni, "Hey, is the next series going to be about Sabine and Ahsoka?" And Dave Filoni goes, "Oh, would you like that, Donald? Would you like that?" Knowing full well that he's already voiced a season of this. This comes out in the fall, and the final cast member is so there's two more. Jim Rash from Community, I believe Oscar winner Jim Rash.
Yep.
And Rachel Butera from Family Guy.
Yeah, so, I've heard that one name before, but yeah.
She does voice over stuff.
Yeah.
So and obviously we will also see BB-8, Poe Dameron, and Captain Phasma, and Oscar Isaac and Gwendolyn Christie doing their roles.
And this takes place prior to Force Awakens, correct?
Prior to Force Awakens. No, it takes place right after. It's just the last Jedi.
What?
Yeah, it takes place before The Force Awakens. I don't know how long before. I hope they give themselves some. It would be kind of cool if the series ended with how did Poe escape Jakku? I don't think it will, but I would really like to see that. I would like to see that kind of played out in some way. I am looking forward to this because I think it could be cool. Dave Filoni says he was inspired by like fighters, World War II aircraft fighters in World War II. I think it has a lot of potential. I mean, everything in the Star Wars universe has a lot of potential.
Oh yeah.
Realistically, so we'll see what happens in the fall. Doesn't have a release date. I'm guessing sometime in October. Hopefully, Fan Expo this year will show the first one.
Ooh, that would be fantastic.
That'd be kind of cool. We'd have to go check that out for sure. Yeah. What about this are you excited the most, Brock?
I want to know more about the Resistance prior to Force Awakens. Obviously, I think it would be great if it actually starts at the beginning of the Resistance. So if somehow it could rope in the storyline from Bloodline, that would be fantastic. It doesn't have to show anything, just like even if it just mentions the explosion in First Resistance for the New Republic Senate or whatever, and you're like, oh yeah, like it's just maybe not even reveal Leia immediately, like maybe have her as like, because the Resistance wasn't known right away. I feel like isn't Force Awakens where they're finally revealed, even though like First Order knows about it, and same thing with First Order. And that's another thing. We can see a lot of First Order stuff. Maybe this is how we get to know more about Snoke. That would be fantastic. The Hux family would be really cool in that as well, because there's got to be villains. So like Brindle Hux and Hux, General Hux from, or are those the same characters? What's his father's name? What's Hux?
Brindle's the father.
Brindle, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So that would be good. So then you can work in a little bit of aftermath a bit, maybe. Like I really hope they include book stuff. I think that's what I'm looking forward to the most.
Well, the one thing with Rebels, I think, like it or hate it, it handled the canon better than anything else. I thought the way that it weaved in and out stuff that we knew, that we heard about, that was going to happen. I thought it handled that very, very well, especially in the last little bit of it. I think that's where it excelled. So yeah, that's what I'm excited to see too, is how this handles that, because I think also TV and animation is like the perfect conduit for everything, because the films are always going to be the films, like we've been saying forever. Who knows what the streaming site's going to offer us? So this is a chance for them to be like, okay, well, let's just bridge it all together, because the books, I think the books in a lot of ways are the books, kind of like the movies are the movies. The books kind of do whatever, but not, people read the books, people don't. I think the TV shows is just such a great place to bridge it all, and hopefully that continues with this one. I can't see it not, but it's an interesting time period, because it's very similar to, I mean, this is basically Rebels 2.0.
Yeah.
Instead of Rebels, we're getting the Resistance, and we're right off the bat, we're getting characters that we already know with Poe and Phasma. So I'm with you, though. I'd like it to. I think it would be so cool if the first scene was just that scene, that part in the hangar in Bloodline.
Yeah.
And that I think that would be a lot of fun. I'm curious to see how far they can go, because like I said about that Jakku thing, but also don't forget, these characters all disappear in The Last Jedi. Like, these characters are nowhere to be seen.
Yeah.
And have they all been killed?
Yeah.
Are they off somewhere? And I don't know how far the show will go. I'm hoping they make this more like 5 years at least before Force Awakens, so they can explore more stuff. But I would really like some kind of explanation as to, I mean, we might get it in 9, but I still think we're going to get that time jump, so you can kind of ignore all that in 9.
Yeah.
But that's my feelings on it. It'll be fun. At first I was like, that's weird that they're going Resistance right after Rebels. I thought maybe they'd want to tell something completely different and whatever, but I guess in a lot of ways this will be different. So, again, I have faith in Filoni and company over there, because I really enjoyed Rebels. People are like, whoa, yeah, it's not perfect. Rebels was never perfect.
Yeah.
But I don't know what is, and I thought more often than not I enjoyed it, and so I think this new show, has a lot going for it based on that.
Yeah. I think the most important question is, will we get Ahsoka in this series? Or, Ezra or Sabine, we want to know more. That'd be great.
You know what? Let's go right into the next segment. Never tell me the
odds.
What are the odds? You don't even know. I didn't tell you the odds this week.
I know you didn't.
Because our first odd is, what are the odds of Ahsoka appearing in Star Wars Resistance? Silence is golden for a podcast.
The odds of Ahsoka appearing?
Yeah.
I think very high. Of all characters and other from this animated universe, I think Ahsoka, you got to put her in now, because she keeps popping up and people would love to know. So I'm going to say 98%.
I'm going to go full Brock.
True.
Oh, no, I think, here's the thing. She showed up in Rebels. She had like a nice story in Rebels. She came back at the end of Rebels. She goes off with Sabine. And look, Filoni, I'm sure would love to bring her in, but you can't always go back to that well.
Yeah.
And if she doesn't fit in this, she doesn't fit, and I'm not sure how she would fit in it all.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to go full Brock on it, because I'm leaning more towards no. I think this will be the first time Filoni will be like, no, we don't need her in this one. She doesn't belong in this situation. But like you said, she can be fit into anything. So
yeah,
it's very possible. But I'm going to go full Brock on it, but almost going on the no side.
Mm-hmm.
And next odd, the odds of the Ewok Slicer from the Han Solo book, Last Shot, appearing in a film.
Pripak. Pripak.
Is that his name?
I forget. Yeah, it's a she actually.
I haven't. Andrew told me I haven't read it. Have you read it?
I'm about halfway through.
Oh, so I haven't had a chance to get my hands on it yet.
To be in the which Han Solo? Is that what you said?
Any live action film ever.
To be in Han Solo, you said?
Any film.
So the odds of the Ewok Slicer being in Han Solo?
Any film.
Any film? Ooh. I want it to be 100%, but I'm going to go 30 on it. Like, I think it would be too much. But inclusion of Ewoks in more movies, 100%. Let's do it.
Well, we know that there is that stuffed Ewok in Solo with the background shot. I wonder if that is this Slicer, because that would be sad. I'm going to go 10%, but man, would I love it. And our final odd, the odds of Solo, a Star Wars story, being Trilogy, a Star Wars story, being 3 films. Will Han Solo be 3 films?
Hundo P, assuming it does well.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I think so. I think you can do a lot with that character.
I agree with you. I think, but here's the question I have is, because a lot of my enthusiasm for this is banked off of Kasdan, and he wrote it with his son. And my question is, who writes the next one? Who writes it? Because if they just go and get, some, like, who writes it? I think that's very important. Someone's got, I think that is really the key to Solo more than anyone. But if his son, Kasdan's like, I'm done, and his son decides to write it, I would have some faith in that. But I'm curious. Han Solo is my favorite character, so I'm all in. I'm going to go, if this one does well, 85%. If this one does poorly, 15%. But I think, the other thing, too, is, he signed on for 3 movies, but that's not to say that he won't be in this movie or that movie or a Boba Fett movie or a Jango Fett prequel film. So you never know what's going to be. So that's where I am, because I love Han Solo. Why would I say no to any Star Wars movie?
Yeah.
Is the question. All right, you want to wrap this
Fantastic.
thing up?
Oh, top 5?
Top 5, because you got to go to work.
Yeah, I know, but let's top 5 real quick.
No, we're going there. We're not doing this quick. We're going to take our time. Tell Daryl he can wait for you. Daryl's his roommate. Doesn't like Star Wars, but he looks like Luke Skywalker. All right, here we go. Top 5 characters we would like to see in Star Wars Resistance, a new animated show coming to Disney XD this fall. Brock, number 5.
Number 5 is a bunch of people, because it's just easier to say it. The pilots that we've seen so far. So Snap, Jess, Shan, Tally, the Tico sisters, all those I can never remember their names. I want to know more about these characters, and this is a perfect place for it. Especially the Tico sisters, because I don't know exactly how you do it, but I think you can get them in there, and I think that is a good move. I think Star Wars, Lucasfilm loves those characters, so let's put them in.
My number 5 is Hondo.
Oh, yes. 1,000 times yes.
He has to show up.
Yeah.
Because he's just the OG, man. I would just, like, just keep bringing him on. How long do those species live? I don't know. Who cares?
I don't know. Who cares?
Keep him in there, man. I think it would be great. My number 4 is another one that ends with O, Lando.
Oh.
My goodness. Where the hell is Lando? I think I really am, like, annoyed that he's been ignored in the movies. Because look, he shows up in Empire, does this thing, but he's a huge part of Return of the Jedi. A huge part in the Rebels' plan. And there's no explanation anywhere as to what happened to this guy.
Yeah.
Nothing. And it's such a crock.
That's why you got to get reading on Last Shot, because it's telling some of the current stuff on Lando. So, like, but it could work in the show, I think. I don't know what the show's going to.
I haven't read the book because I haven't.
You got to get on it.
Because Lucasfilm Publishing or Del Rey or whoever has not sent us a copy of it. Normally we get copies. We've never got a copy of anything. And
number 4 for me is
we're still waiting for our invite to the Solo premiere on May 10th. We're still waiting.
Still waiting.
Lucasfilm, My address, you know it.
My number 4 is Wedge Antilles because
Nice.
I want to know what happened to Wedge after Return of the Jedi.
Oh, that's all in Aftermath.
Yeah, but put him in the show because he could still be alive.
Yeah.
Or did he die in the book?
No, he. I think does he marry? I don't want to spoil anything.
Put him in it.
No, he's in all 3 of the Aftermath books. But yeah, that's totally cool. My number 3 is similar to your number 5. I want Snap, Holdo, Tally, and Tico's. That's what I want on the show.
Holdo, yeah.
Snap has to be in it, but Bobby Moynihan's playing Snap. I think that is all but confirmed. That's based on me just being me. Holdo, what, does she just appear out of nowhere in The Last Jedi? No, she needs. I think she needs to have.
That's a good point.
I don't think she should be there right from the start. It'd be kind of cool if she kind of worms her way in at some point and like works her way up. But that's my number 3. Did you give your number 3?
My number 3 is Leia, because, come on, just give us as much Leia as friggin' possible. She's in Poe Dameron right now, and it's just like, yes.
Leia's not on my list because I'm going under the assumption that she's on the show.
Yeah.
Like, that's why.
The rest of mine are just, like, not new characters.
I don't know. What's your number 2?
My number 2 is Poe Dameron, because why not?
Well, he is on the show.
I know he's on the show, but like I'm excited. What are you excited to see on this? And I said Poe Dameron.
My number 2 is a twofer. We got Traitor FN2199 and also FN2187. I want to see both of my stormtroopers, Sanitation and the Redhead, doing their thing. What's your number 2?
My number 2 is Poe. My number 1 is BB-8 because this show should be about BB-8. I don't care. He should just be about him. Thank you. Thank you. Good night.
My number 1 is who the show should really be about, and that is the Ewok Slicer from Last Shot. 100% Ewok
Possible.
Slicer.
That's the right time frame, so yeah.
I would love an Ewok to play a part in because look, I love Porgs, but the thing with Porgs is Porgs are more like, you know, the animals in the wild, where Ewoks have, you know, they're definitely a little bit more, you know, they can be trained with weapons. And, you know, I've killed stormtroopers with them. So that's what I'm saying right now. I would love an Ewok Slicer. Let us know, you guys, in the comments below, who you would like to see appear in Star Wars Resistance, a new animated show coming to, I feel like I'm advertising for them right now. It's coming to Disney XD this fall. Check your local listings. I'm really excited. Look, the future of Star Wars is bright. I think it is it might be a burning candle, but it's one of those very, very long candles that take forever to burn.
Yeah.
I think episode 9 is going to be a lot of fun. Solo's going to be a lot of fun. This new show has a lot of writing, like a lot going for it. And then that streaming service, man. That streaming service is exciting to me. I think we're in for something there.
What a time to be alive, James.
That's what I'm saying, man. Everyone's like arguing like Avengers is better than Star Wars. Star Wars is better than... Who cares? Let's just go enjoy things, man. They are fantastic. It's just... I'm on Solo. Hi. Like, just awesome time. Cannot wait, man. It's great. So, look, Star Wars has been slow in the news the last little while. This TV shows it. But, look, you know, episode 9 starts shooting in July. This animated show, we're going to start seeing stuff for it soon. Hopefully, Fan Expo in September, we get something. But, man, it's getting exciting. All right, you got to get to work.
I got to go. As always, James, it's been a pleasure talking to you Star Wars and Star Wars affiliated accessories.
Hopefully, this week coming up, that we can be in the same room.
Hopefully.
I would not have made it to your place today on time. I slept like a baby.
Anyways.
I was cute. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching. Really means a lot to us. And Brock, you were always scum.
Ewok scum. Yup, no.
Resistance is futile.
All right.
Hey scumbags, thanks for watching. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up on our video. As always, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Rebel Scum Podcast, for all the latest videos.